Hello and welcome to Quoted for Truth. I am your host, John Davison. With me is Brendan Sinclair and Tom McShay. It is the Friday before E3 2012, and stuff is starting to happen. So this is another episode. It's not live because of all of our gear is down in LA being plugged into a giant satellite truck or something crazy down there right now. We have top men down in LA wiring things up right now. So this has actually been recorded on Thursday, just as some of this news is breaking. So the first story of the week is there is a new Gears of War coming at E3. It is on the cover of the next Game Informer, and that's all I know. So to me, this sounds like possibly Gears of War ODST or something.
I thought for sure you were going to say the word we all fear,
which is
Gears of War Connect.
Oh, gee, didn't they can that?
They said they canned it. I hope that they canned it.
When they actually acknowledged it existed, just to say it doesn't exist anymore, don't worry, guys.
But they wanted to see the reaction. What if they saw a reaction of disappointment?
No,
I don't know what they saw. No, they saw
did not
cheers.
see that reaction.
Cheers and celebration.
So they released a teaser image of this, and it looks like a dude in glowing future handcuffs being led into a room by two other dudes with masks on. And that suggests to me that this is a prequel to...
So how Marcus ended up in
Gears of
jail?
War 1. Yeah. Unpaid parking tickets, I'm guessing.
I think, he looks like the kind of dude that would do that.
Yeah, he's kind of a jerk.
Yeah.
So a prequel Gears of War. I mean, in the comments there were actually a lot of people that kind of picked up on this. Nocturnal Kisses. I will bet anything that this is a prequel to the first Gears of War to show how E-Day started and how the world was before all this. Hopefully if they do a prequel, it will answer some questions that weren't answered at the ending of Gears of War 3. Did you guys have questions at the end of Gears of War 3?
Not particularly.
No, you'd kind of like, I think I understand what Gears of War is now, guys.
Yeah, shit was blowing up, and we're good.
Tom killed his wife because she got ugly.
Yeah,
I got it.
Exactly.
You know.
How about you, Tom? Do you have a prediction?
For a prediction for
what it is?
Well, I believe it'll be a prequel. The thing that's weird, because you mentioned ODST. ODST was... I love ODST. And it was really interesting because, I mean, it wasn't Master Chief, and it was the way the story was told was very different than Halo.
Yeah.
But if this is just the story of how Dom came to be,
right,
then we're going to hang around with the guy that we don't really like.
Right.
For another game.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like it's a good idea, and it's really soon. Like, I guess I just don't...
It does feel so. I mean, it's been a year, but it does feel, like, rushed, right?
It would be, like, if it comes out this year, that would be 4 and 6 years, or next year's 4 and 7 years. That's a lot of Gears of War games, considering that the gameplay is basically the same in all these games. So, I don't know. I mean, I'm super pumped for Epic's new IP, Fortnite. I don't need their old IP. I think they can just move away from it for a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, people in the comments, I mean, there was mixed reactions. So Ziproy quoted, 3 is our absolute last Gears game, so you better buy it, and then says, I hate it when they do crap like this. They make you feel like it's the end, but it's all just corporate dogma to help get you to buy the game, enjoy your sequel to a trilogy, you sheep, which is quite cynical.
That actually, there was another comment from ZZA Morrow, which said, I was only interested in the trilogy after that, no thanks, gameplay is great, but shallow story makes this game not interesting. I'm wondering if, now that we're starting to see these, hey, we're envisioning this as a trilogy right from the start, things like Mass Effect and Gears of War, where they come out and the trilogy is completed, and then people are like, okay, well, that's what you build it as, and now I'm not interested in your brand as much in the series because I feel like it's complete, and whatever you do now is just sort of an afterthought.
Right.
So is it going to start working against these series now that they've like done their whole grand trilogy thing and staple extra stuff onto it?
Yeah.
That's a good point. I wonder if that's why Ubisoft has never come out with Assassin's Creed and it's like, we're making X number, because they can just keep churning that out indefinitely and people won't have the negative reaction of this because they want to see how that story ends.
I think they actually might have with the original. Before
the
first one came out, they might have said something about a trilogy.
I don't remember that. I'm going to pretend.
But there's like a meta trilogy, and then there's the in-betweeny bits, right? So they're kind of doing their ODSTs and reaches sort of along the way.
Okay.
But I don't know. I mean, there's definitely some lore. I use the term lightly to mine. I mean, there's some stuff with his dad and some stuff about his past and the Emergence Day stuff, and there's something there.
So I read the graphic novel, the first story arc from it, for a feature on whether or not game-based comics are worth reading. Generally, no. Turns out, I thought.
Wow. Okay, well,
but the that lore that you're talking about is
thin.
Yeah, like you can go online and there's a Gears Wikia page which is just stacked with it.
Yeah.
But when you actually see like the characters and the way they interact, it all like comes to this really shallow head, and it's just there are details back there, but there aren't actually like fleshed out characters in the world.
Right.
Marcus Phoenix is still his defining character trait is just that he's Marcus Phoenix.
Yeah. I mean, Gears has great gameplay, terrible story, and I don't know if we need more of the same gameplay. I guess that's my perspective. Unless it's Connect.
Well, I think we've talked that one to death. You mentioned comics, so I'm going to go back a couple of paragraphs and use that as a segue, because this week we also learned that a new DC Comics fighter called Injustice will be coming from NetherRealms, and it's got Superman and Batman in it. It's by Ed Boon. The game's not coming out till next year, but there was a trailer, and we had some early stuff up on the site this week. Superman and Batman and The Flash.
Yeah.
Wonder Woman.
Harley Quinn.
Harley Quinn was in it. And it looks like there's going to be many more. What do you think? Think a good direction for the Mortal Kombat engine?
I don't know if it's a direction at all. Like we've already seen this game, haven't we? We saw MK versus DC. This looks very
different.
Very similar to that, though. I mean, it has the same kind of Dead or Alive style stages, the same visual design.
Some big. I mean, the trailer. There's a little glimpse of some stuff with like Superman punching a guy up into orbit and then slamming him back down again.
And Batman kicking Solomon Grundy in the chest, and then he just takes off like a Roman candle and busts through a building. And like, I don't remember Batman being like superhumanly powerful. Maybe that's just me. I might have missed that part from the Michael Keaton movies. But, like, it's the same problem you always run into with a DC fighting game. The Justice League Task Force, Mortal Kombat versus DC, like, they try to put a story in there. And it doesn't really work in a fighting game where half the characters are heroes and...
But isn't that true with Mortal Kombat also? Raiden's a god. Like, he shouldn't be messing with...
It's a tournament. They have to fight each other.
Okay.
So the defenders of Earthrealm are slaughtering each other in order to get a shot at the bad guy. Is that...
Also does not make sense.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. And that's like... Story's not the strong point. This is why, like, Marvel Capcom and Marvel Capcom 2 and all that, like, the Capcom crossover fighters are so light on story that it doesn't bother you when it's like, hey, Spider-Man and the Hulk are beating the tar out of each
It's strange you say story isn't a strong point, because when you talk about Mortal Kombat, the new one, MK9, story was...
single-player campaign was the thing it did best.
Yeah, that's the thing that did best, and it's like the story itself was terrible,
yes.
But like just having context to your fighting made it interesting, and I think that's what people are expecting with this, but it's like once you played Mortal Kombat for a dozen hours, it's not actually a good fighting game.
Right.
It's only really good for the novelty of the fatalities in the story. So it's like,
people do seem to want that. Lico Link in the comments said, "I'm not interested until I see Superman getting his heart ripped out or Wonder Woman getting her head smashed or something."
Wow.
This is from the creator of the Mortal Kombat series, so I expect to see a few Mortal Kombat elements added in. I mean, I think there is a...
Like, right after that, Diablo NN says, call me weird, but I'd rather not see fatalities in this. Just keep it nice, clean, and simple, same as the comics. Some of the characters showcased do not kill, and it should be left as such.
So well, he's going to get his wish, though, because this is T-rated.
Right, but I think what we're seeing here is, like, a real problem when you get into this world, which is that you've got people that love the game that it's built off of, and people that love the comic books, and they're trying to appeal to both, and something's got to give.
I think they kind of need to, like, just drop the Mortal Kombat fan base for this one. I mean, I know they're really loyal and obviously did a lot to make that last game a hit, but the Mortal Kombat style game, when you take the fatalities out of it,
it's kind of a clunky fighter.
Yeah, it's not going to capture people the way that Mortal Kombat actually does. Even DC Universe, DC versus Mortal Kombat, people were upset because the fatalities were watered down in that.
Yeah,
and the idea of having a DC Comics fighter, and like if they even have something sort of like the fatalities, which it seems like they do, with those scripted sequences, it's
pandering.
It's trying to have it both ways.
Yeah,
and I don't think they're going to be able to pull that off.
Yeah, one of the things that was interesting for me, it's on 3 systems, one of which is Wii U.
Yep.
We don't know what kind of support Nintendo's going to get, and for the last 3 generations since N64, they've had terrible third-party support. And they don't need tons of third-party exclusives, but they need every big game that's on the 360 and PS3 to be on the Wii U. Every single one.
And ideally to look better.
To look slightly better and have some kind of quirk, but they just need, like, they need Assassin's Creed, they need BioShock, they need every one of these big games to make it seem like a viable, complete system as opposed to just relying on Nintendo. So I think this is really good news for Nintendo.
I'd be interested. I mean, Juju264 says, yeah, the Mortal Kombat devs have done a good job lately. We'll see if I'll pick it up. I'm also interested in what they're going to do with the Wii U controller. I mean, I think fighting games with with the tablet element, I mean, it's, I don't know, maybe gestures on the screen. I mean, there's things that potentially they could do. I mean, it doesn't lend itself perfectly to that kind of stuff.
Especially the Vita of Mortal Kombat does some things that are gimmicky in the negative sense. So I don't know if you need that for a fighter.
Like a fighting game, it's going to be too quick and fast paced to actually even bother switching between the main screen and the tablet screen. So it's only the tilt sensing that you can really incorporate into the fight, I think, and that's not going to...
General sentiment from everyone seemed to be that, you know, they have faith in Ed Boon pulling something off with this, and the trailer certainly impressed a lot of people. So.
Robert, his comment, glad to see Ed Boon still bringing new ideas. He's been making games since before I was born, 1987.
I couldn't tell if that was sarcastic or not. I enjoyed it.
I like Ed Boon. I'm very fond of the Mortal Kombat series, but the dude has not really spread his artistic wings, you'll say.
No, to put it mildly. So the one disappointment for me, I want Shaolin Monks 2.
Oh yeah,
they're making more than one game. Neverland said, NetherRealm said.
Yep.
So I hope they're making Shaolin Monks 2.
Shaolin Monks was awesome.
Yeah,
that would be cool. All right, moving along. Another old thing for us to talk about. The Doom 3 BF3 edition is coming to 360, PlayStation 3, and PC. Bethesda's bringing it back along.
Did you say BF3 edition?
Sorry, BFG. Sorry, I'm
gotta
the BF3, the Doom 3 BF3 edition. That would be awful. So the package has Resurrection of Evil in with it, 7 new levels, 3D support because people still want that apparently, and the first 2 Doom games in one package,
which all sounds great.
Yeah,
but
so in the BFG edition, the flashlight will be armor mounted. So did you guys play?
It sounds like such a small thing.
But people are really upset about this,
and I'm one of them.
Yeah,
this is awful. So the original Doom 3, you had to choose between, you know, having a shotgun that actually could hurt things and having a flashlight which would let you actually see things.
Yeah,
because it was more of like a almost survival horror take on shooters.
They kind of defined the whole monster closet idea in this game. I mean, it happened before, but it was so much a part of the experience in this.
And because you could only see such a very small part of the level at any given time, it was really easy for them to just be like, oh, monster just appeared from the vent behind you, monster all around you. You know, anywhere that you can't see, there are monsters appearing. And the game, like, I did not like the game. I think the flashlight problem, it didn't make things tense in the way that they wanted it to. Mm-hmm. It wasn't an engaging kind of tension like being low on ammo in the original Resident Evil, things like that. But I think it was a bold, creative decision that should be respected now because that was the way the game was designed and balanced around. And when you do this armor-mounted flashlight so you can see everything while you use any of your weapons, you're subverting one of the you know, like, core design details of Doom 3. And it's bothersome because it was a response to fans and critics, and it was just sort of like, oh, you guys didn't like that? Well, we were trying to do something cool and different and everything, but screw that. We'll just, you know, do it however you guys like it. Because that's sort of designed by, like, crowdsourcing is the sort of thing that leads us to an industry where everything tries to be Call of Duty. Because you go for what's most appealing to the most number of people, and then no one has the freedom to take these risky decisions, which may be bad decisions, but at least they're interesting and they're different, and they're the sort of fortunate mistakes that push the medium forward and are necessary
and provide new ideas that even if it doesn't work in this particular game that someone else will pick up and run with.
Yeah, and this is why I'm not happy with id Software and Bethesda changing Doom 3. It's why I'm not happy with BioWare going back to the ending of Mass Effect 3.
Right.
I think it's just sort of selling out your original game and saying, yeah, we didn't have an artistic vision for that. Nothing that we cared about. You know, the original decisions that we made there were pretty much worthless because we're willing to go back on them just because you guys said, hey, we don't like what you did. It's like if we reviewed Skyward Sword with like a 7.5 or something and then saw how people reacted to it, and then the next week we're like, oh, how about an 8.5 for that? Is that better, guys?
There are some people that would like it if we did that.
There were people that called for that the same way there are people that called for Mass Effect 3's ending to change.
But we have
for this to have, and that's
we have a stance, and we don't.
Right.
That's what it is.
And if we did that, it would be undermining everything.
Yeah. You can agree or you can disagree. You can like or you can dislike, but you got to respect the creation.
Yeah, inspire some conversation. Don't keep trying to, please everybody.
Because then it homogenizes everything. And like another id property, Wolfenstein 2009 was Call of Duty. Yeah, so like we don't want that. We want unique properties that take risks and don't always. They're not loved by everyone because that's impossible anyway.
Because if you're willing to change all this crap based on the whim of others, then like, is anything that you're doing or saying, do you believe any of it? You know, does any of it matter to you? No.
People are really mixed on it in the comments. You have people like Iridescent 406 who says, wasn't the point of having the flashlight in Doom 3 so you'd either have a nice view or an actual weapon to use? It kind of defeats the purpose. And then on the other side, you have Himsad714. Hey, look, a company that cares enough to create a complete package, compiling all the games from a series into one easy to buy. Yeah, they're looking to make money, but at least they're doing a fan service as well. I mean, fair enough. I mean, packaging it all together is a fan service.
They didn't put like Final Doom or Doom 64 in there, which is
Final Doom. I forgot about that one.
I know you're groaning about this, but
Doom
it's like
64. Yeah, there are lots
Doom
of people
64 is really good, but why wouldn't this be a complete package? Those games are virtually worthless now as far as like if you bought them individually, it was like $5. Just put them in the package.
If there's any
give me an
work
anthology
to get it, you're getting it. You're getting Doom 1, Doom 2,
I know.
Doom 3, the Doom 3 add-on. Like this is a good value package. And
Was
if
there any
they
indication
actually
of...
just have a option to turn off the armor mounting on the flashlight and play it the way it originally was, then like okay, my concerns kind of go away here. But it's
I don't mind if it's an option.
Yeah,
it's just like I'm bringing up Lair here, but Lair gave you motion controls and then added on real controls later on. Like that's fine.
So this could be like MTate01 said. I really hope they don't release this as a full price game. Even an HD collection price of $40 would be a bit much. I'm expecting $40. Like I think $40 is kind of fair price because they are going back to these games and they're redoing the visuals and new lighting effects and things like that. But it's more the thing underneath that. The what the changes to the old game mean. And I also just really like Hosky0999's comment. I just doomed all over my pants for this article.
Oh, jeez. Well, I actually want to bring up Project Insanity. He says, Doom was fun back in the 90s, but I have trouble believing that any but the most diehard fans would play this for more than an hour before tossing it aside. We just did a Wolfenstein marathon on Wednesday. We played Wolfenstein 3D. That game is incredible and holds up better than, I would say, modern shooters. And really? Doom is probably better than Wolfenstein because it lets you actually dodge enemies.
Well, yeah. What was the sort of main thing that held you? Was it that it was genuinely scary?
It's the tension because I mean, there's no regenerating health. Enemies can kill you like that. If the blue guy catches you, like you're dead. Mm-hmm. So it's like a tense game with lots of secrets. It's still really fun. And it's a better game than Wolfenstein 2009, even though it's way older. So I was surprised seeing this comment about Doom, because Doom is actually still one of the best games, first-person shooters ever. So it holds up. It holds up. You don't have to worry about that. I don't know. Just because it's old does not mean it's worse.
Right. Cool. All right. Moving along. PlayStation 4. According to the Wall Street Journal, they have unnamed tipsters. I nearly said unnamed hipsters there. Unnamed hipsters are citing a 2013 release. Which, I mean, you could probably make that up in a fairly credible way based on stuff that's happened in the past. They also said that their sources had told them that Sony had considered making it a download-only console, which sort of ties in with some of the rumors this week that Sony is buying either OnLive or Gaikai as well. I mean, there's a lot circulating around Sony this week. Yeah. Partly, I think, because people desperately wish that they would be doing something other than just doing what they normally do, which is like, okay, here's the games we got coming out, and we got this Vita thing.
It's so weird that we don't like that, because Sony makes the best games of any of the first party.
Right,
but nobody...
They need a big gesture next week.
It's
so
funny
bad.
Because we all agree about this, I think, but it's weird because it's like they're going to have Last of Us, which is going to be incredible, and every year they have great their first party games, and we always want
Ascension, Unfinished Swan.
Yeah,
we always want more.
Everyone is so stoked about
the group that's
I don't know.
sourcing the indie stuff for PSN is still doing a great job.
Yeah.
Unfinished Swan looks great.
Pub Fund?
Yeah.
With Guacamelee they just announced, which looks pretty cool.
I mean, I actually am okay if they just release or they just show new games, because that's why I play games. I don't necessarily need a huge gesture this year. I just need here's
people
5
are
games
looking
you
for an
play.
exciting news cycle, right? They're like, the Wii U is last year's story, regardless of what they announced.
It's true.
Both Sony and Microsoft said we're not showing anything, but I think with this, people are secretly hoping that if Sony even hints at PS4 at the end of their media briefing, the whole news cycle changes for the whole week, and people have something to talk about and compare things to.
I want them to focus on Vita.
Yeah,
I want them to actually
Do you really think they're going to, though?
No,
more than Move.
Which makes me sad, because I think Sony is looking at the Vita the way a lot of customers are right now, where they're like, oh, it launched and it didn't instantly capture everyone. Let's just sort of, I guess we're committed to a while.
I mean, we're 3 months after the launch, and there's definitely a sense of apathy coming from them right now.
It's awful. This should be when it's like really ramping up and taking off. You know, the original DS launched and it was a terrible lineup.
Yeah,
absolutely terrible. And then the next E3, 7 months later, it had the best E3 that year.
Yeah.
We came away and it's like, oh, Trauma Center, Ace Attorney, just like all these really cool, weird, different games that just had me really excited.
Yeah.
About the DS, which is a system that I had completely written off.
Well, Sony backed themselves.
I'm hoping Sony can actually do this.
It's not going to happen. Sony backed themselves in the corner by making a really expensive to make games on this system that's portable. The DS, you could churn out games for a reasonable price.
Let's see what the readers wanted.
Back to PS4 though. So Hunter 8man says, I don't believe any of it. It's too soon, and I seriously doubt bandwidth had anything to do with the decision against the download-only system. 2014 is more realistic, but I don't think gamers are really desiring a new release of consoles. I don't know, it seems really mixed out there right now. I mean, there's an appetite for stuff, but, I mean, already it's looking like this year's E3 is a show for the PC as much as anything, partly because there isn't a new console cycle, and the developers are looking to push new technology, new graphics.
Zidaneski said, announce it now so I can get it 2 years after it comes out.
Oh dear.
So even the people that want it right now don't want to buy it right now.
Yeah, I guess I really don't have a problem, because it seems like a news of a new system, it's like hype for a week or two and then nothing, but games give you lots of enjoyment, so I just want games. Like you said, it's PC games, that's fine.
Yep.
If this E3 is flooded with awesome games, I'll be happy.
There was another part of the story about PS4 being downloadable only, sort of like the PSP Go was, and how Sony kind of scrapped that idea pretty quickly because the broadband internet penetration rates aren't what they thought. So Learbag said, I guess our third world country's crappy internet saved us this time. First time I actually said thanks to my unstable broadband. Disclaimer, I have no idea where the hell he lives.
Yeah.
He's kind of describing the broadband in my neighborhood, though. He could be a neighbor.
Mooncalf Reviews said, bandwidth concerns my butt. They saw the outrage towards the rumors and realized that they'd lose a ton of fans if they did that.
So Eddie actually dug up the old stat about the PSP to Go ratio when it came out. Wasn't it like 1,000 to 1 or something?
In Japan, there were weeks where it was being outsold 1,000 to 1 by the real PSP, which did pretty well in Japan.
Yeah.
And continues to do better than you might think.
Nah. Homer is queuing up creepy baby ads to go along with this segment. Thanks, Homer. That's disturbing all of us.
I think this is the official video of Quoted for Truth now. It's just going to be us talking
over
creepy baby
crying.
ads for half an hour. Can you loop this, Homer? Is that possible?
Yeah, here we go.
Okay.
Play Beyond,
Nice.
baby. Let's go.
There we go.
No, I only want creepy baby.
Yes. Oh, looks so cute and genitalless. Oh, yeah. They should have sold those baby dolls at launch. I would have bought a PS3 for $599 US and then one baby doll. with yo-yo tier action.
I want to know I want to be in the pitch room for this meeting. Like it's like. So
okay,
we have.
First of all, there's a mountain of cocaine in the middle of the table.
Like, was there one guy who's like, I don't get it. Why are we going to put a baby? Why don't we show games? And everyone else is like, no, don't you get it? The baby's crying.
And then
Reverse tears.
And then he sucks the tears back into his eyes.
Or maybe they're like, no, don't you get it? All we have is Genji, Days of the Blade.
Oh, God. You remember the subtitle?
That might have been the original Genji?
No, don't.
I don't know.
Okay.
All right, I think we're done with PlayStation 4, right? Next one. The Witcher dev is doing a cyberpunk RPG. They unveiled this week that they're building a game based on Mike Pondsmith's cyberpunk pen and paper RPG system. It's currently in development at the second team at CD Projekt Red in Warsaw by what they are calling seasoned developers. So, cyberpunk RPG, you excited about this?
My favorite part of this was that Mike Pondsmith talked about how cyberpunk was inspired by San Francisco's Mission District.
Nice.
And how he was afraid to like walk to his car there because he thought he would be murdered.
Wow.
And I understand it used to be a little rougher pre-gentrification, but just hearing this right now is kind of hilarious because that's the most hipstery place on earth.
Well, I think if anyone could pull it, I mean, like, people still are very fond of the original Shadowrun. It's got, the Kickstarter thing a little while ago. People were very excited about it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, cyberpunk in a lot of ways is as almost historical fiction now in a lot of ways.
It's ready for a comeback.
but some of the stuff is actually
It's outdated technology.
It's outdated technology. We're already well past that. I mean,
know.
the augmentations are different, but the concepts are kind of old school. And you read some of the old William Gibson stuff now, and it's like, yeah, we've had that for a while now.
Yeah, I have an iPhone that does twice what that's doing.
It's getting to the point of like steampunk. Where
Yeah.
you just look at it and it's like, okay, the way technology progresses, we would never actually have this situation, but it's kind of charming, this weird amalgamation that they show there.
But there is something kind of cool about this vibe.
And it's the
particularly
aesthetics.
Yeah.
People like the look of it a lot. Prey 2, that's what jumped out last year, is it looks like Blade Runner and looks awesome.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
So, Neuro Boy in the comments said, this more than makes up for the cancellation of Stalker and the lack of interest I had in William Gibson's last few novels, which definitely aren't cyberpunk anymore. I think I'll just reread Neuromancer again while I'm waiting and maybe get around to playing Deus Ex Human Revolution. Or Gemini Rue. What's that? I'm not familiar with that
It's a 2D adventure game, very story-based.
one.
Maxwell McGee reviewed it last year. He liked it.
Super.
Yeah, it's a different one. So, 28 says, I'm very disappointed that this Cyberpunk RPG's universe isn't completely created or thought up by CD Projekt Red.
That was a great point, I thought.
It's an interesting point because who cares that Witcher isn't created by them? It feels like it's created by them.
Yeah.
And isn't that all that matters?
And there's going to be a whole generation of people that just have no idea who Mike Pondsmith is or,
Yeah.
or
Well,
what his work
did you
was.
know what The Witcher was before the
No.
game?
No, I mean, it made me look it up, but
yeah, but you didn't know, and it's great, and the
Yeah.
story's great, and the characters are great. So what does it
The thing
matter?
is, there are storytellers talented in different facets of it. Like maybe this one's a great world creator, but not so great at telling specific small scale stories in that world. And maybe CD Projekt actually is like, if that's where their talents lie, in taking someone else's amazing world.
Yeah.
And then kind of bringing it to games and telling their own story in there, then I think that's really cool that they can actually find that niche and fill it. On the other hand, I am really curious to see if they can come up with their own universe and populate it. But
I don't
guessing
need
it
that.
would be 5 years down the road before that's an issue.
There's only like one developer, BioWare, who can make like a world and characters that like you care about. Like other RPGs, like Skyrim, it's like I don't care about all that stuff. Like, but that's not their strength.
Did you care about Dragon Age?
No, I didn't. But I mean, BioWare has made games that they're really good at that, and it's like not every developer can just create from scratch like a really cool world.
Right.
So I don't have any problem with them like taking source material and making it their own. Like
Interesting
that's
you bring
fine.
them up. Andrew Whitmire said, I can't think of another game that I'm looking forward to more than this one. CD Projekt Red is making games like BioWare did before they were acquired by EA.
Yeah, well, I don't
Yeah.
think he's. I mean, the story and characters are still great. Some of the other stuff has changed.
all right. Moving on to our rapid fire round. 4 or 5 things just to get everyone's quick reactions to. THQ has hired Jason Rubin to be its new president. He was the Naughty Dog co-founder, in case you don't remember. We last really saw him in the game space in 2015, PS4, I think.
In the past.
Yeah, he was doing some mobile stuff recently. Do you think he can turn THQ around? What do you think?
No.
No?
I
think they're just done?
I think he can sell off Volition and Saints Row to Sony to be exclusive to their systems.
Okay.
No.
I'll go out on a limb and say that, but I don't think THQ is in a very hard place.
Brendan's going the cynical route. What about you, Tom?
Well, I think he just regrets leaving Naughty Dog. I don't know. What the heck is he thinking? Naughty Dog's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, so he's not going to, I mean, I don't know. THQ, he can always transform it into something mobile or something.
Would you prefer Way of the Warrior and Jack and Daxter or Uncharted and Last of Us?
It's a good question. I'll get back to you.
I do think it's significant that the board chose to hire someone with a creative background rather than someone with sort of a banking or investment background. So, I mean, they're from an original IP perspective, they're in pretty good shape in terms of what they're holding right now. They're just not doing the right deals. So,
but Take-Two was in this position a few years. They're pretty good right now,
right?
So I mean, it is possible to. It's just really tough in this climate.
Take-Two was not in this position.
So Brendan's just
they weren't as dire, but
no.
Brendan's just a cynical bastard. We have faith, right, Tom?
It could happen.
It could happen. All right, next up, Harry Potter Connect.
Okay, where's your faith now? Where is your faith now, Tom? Because you're not a cynical bastard.
No,
shouldn't they have canned this?
This, first of all, because I'm not cynical, this game will be awesome, and second of all, but if I were cynical or truthful, I'd say the Kinect is it's kind of a busted piece of hardware right now. I don't know how you make because I've been playing Sorcery, which is the Wii, which is the Move. So the Move version of
Freudian slip.
It's the Move version of Harry Potter, and it kind of. It's not even good, and the controls are good.
That's what you've just been standing motionless in your cubicle for the last 3 days?
Yeah, so it's like, I mean, I love Harry Potter, but I just love the books, and I don't want any more crap around it. It just dilutes how awesome it is.
Right.
So, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Though maybe it'll have dancing like Star Wars Connect.
Oh, boy.
There
All
you
right,
go.
let's move along. Let's get angry about something else. NBA 2K13 has a Sprite-branded pre-order incentive. That'll have All-Star Weekend stuff and a slam dunk contest, but brought to you by Sprite.
Yeah,
is this the beginning of a new thing?
So here's my thing. I'm going to talk first because this is you got to follow. You're following up with what I say. This is a yearly sequel with incremental updates. They charge $60 for, and now they're trying to get people to do pre-order bonuses, and potentially this will be DLC later. Like this is atrocious business practice. This game should be selling for $20 every year, and I cannot believe they're trying to gouge customers like that.
And it's being underwritten by a soft drink this year as well. So not only are they charging you for it, it's already being part funded by Sprite.
That's the part that bugs me most of all, is that you're having me engage in commerce for the privilege of being advertised to by Sprite.
Right.
It's horrible.
That's bothersome. You could point out, though, that this is a result of no competition in the space.
No,
NBA Live, The Life, or whatever. Sony's.
I don't envy sports developers because they're in a difficult place, but they gouge more than any other game out there, and I think this is abominable. I hope nobody. I mean, the game is going to be great. Last year was our sports game of the year. It's going to be great, but I hope nobody supports this because this is a horrible business practice.
Wow. You know what's actually? I'll say one good thing for THQ.
THQ.
For THQ.
What? Nobody said anything good about them in eons.
Yes, I know.
Okay.
The UFC, they did it annualized once, and sales weren't phenomenal. And then they're like, you know what? We don't need a UFC game every single year. And then they waited like 18 months before the next one. So it was it's a little more reasonable.
That's when you can take the fact that you can't afford to do one every year and turn it into a positive, right?
It's true though. We don't need
cynical.
We don't need $60 yearly updates to Madden and NBA and all that other stuff.
All right, next up, Epic Games won their suit against Silicon Knights and Dennis Dyack, and now the developer has to pay them $4.45 million in damages, plus the legal fees. So are Silicon Knights just done now?
Wait, no, you got to read the question as it's written.
Oh, sorry. Is it time to strip them of their knighthood? Very cute. Who wrote that?
It was a Brendan, but I liked it.
Yeah. If Silicon Knights, just this bugs me kind of like for the same reason that the 38 Studios thing bugged me, is because there's, taxpayer incentives bolstering this company. And then when they picked this fight. They filed suit against Epic saying that you guys didn't support Unreal Engine as well as you should have. And then Epic's like, yeah, well, you tried to steal Unreal Engine from us, so screw you guys. Epic walks away with $4.5 million. and Silicon Knights, whose last game was X-Men Destiny, and doesn't have another game announced, and I would be shocked if they made it to another game being released, is now paying $4.5 million that Ontario taxpayers gave them.
Yeah, I mean they've been toxic for a while, but this is just the final confirmation of that.
Well, I still have faith. I mean, the guys. I mean, I actually liked Too Human for what it was, co-op. But they laid Eternal Darkness and Blood Omen. Like,
Right.
They have talent. It's really tough. They didn't adjust well to how expensive games were this generation. But I think that
Eternal
they
Darkness had the help of Nintendo, and Blood Omen had the help of Crystal Dynamics.
I think they could find a niche that is not the super high-priced games they've been trying to make, and make something good, XBLA downloadable, something like that. I still think they have talent.
That could be if they are going to try and turn their reputation around. I think they'd have to go that kind of pseudo indie route to do it.
Yeah,
they're gonna do a Double Fine, only without the fan loyalty.
Also,
Right.
do you really have? I mean, how much did Nintendo do with a game with insanity effects? Like, I don't know if Nintendo was the reason Eternal Darkness was great, because that game was messed up.
You know, Shigeru Miyamoto's name is on the patent that they got for the Eternal Darkness.
I'm sure he had to
feature.
sign for Diac, or they don't accept it at the patent office.
All right, last piece. We just wrapped up our video game history month. I'm trying to remember everything we did. We did Fallout,
Street Fighter,
Metal Gear. Yep.
I did Zelda,
And Wolfenstein.
All like 6-hour marathons or something?
Yeah.
Yes.
All had significant anniversaries this year, either 20th, 15th, or 25th. There's a whole bunch of others. Are there ones that you wish we would have done?
Mm-hmm.
Go on then. What would you wish we would have done?
The two big ones come to mind. I'll celebrate them my own way this year. Mega Man in December is 25 years, and 20 years in August for my favorite game ever, Super Mario Kart. So those are the two huge ones for me.
Yeah.
That's not bad. I'll trump you here with the 30th anniversary of E.T. on the Atari 2600 and the 25th anniversary of the TurboGrafx 16.
Wow.
And if you
Some
want
good
to do
ones.
marathons for those, 6-hour marathons of either of those, I will
You might
volunteer.
be hard pressed to do 6 hours on ET.
Try me.
He might be able to finish it.
That-
If you
Can
fall down,
is it possible to
it
finish it?
is. You have to fall down a lot of holes.
Well, on that note, we are wrapping the show. Let us know in the comments if there's stuff that you would have liked us to have marathoned as Video Game History Month. We'll probably follow the same format next year. We'll do it live. We've got a lot of engagement around it. So next week is E3, so we'll be live streaming all day, pretty much every day for the whole show. So QFT will be back in 2 or 3 weeks. We'll put out on Twitter when the next episode is. Thank you very much.